We used to face challenges with regards to recruiting within our industry. The launch of Impetus Futures in February 2012 has really delivered in terms of resolving some of those issues. And with such areas, such specialist roles, it was extremely hard to reactionally recruit into them. Our managed database, which we continue to top up and add into that funnel, is really delivering for us. And we're able to maintain that network and be able to point them into the roles. So for us, that's really addressing the need. When we fall outside of that into sort of more management areas of the business, and there becomes a much more sort of complex blend of skills that's required, that becomes a little bit more of a challenge, not so easily addressed by a managed database. But in the core of our business, it absolutely works. I think some of the challenges that we face are it still remains a challenge, particularly in the sectors of IT, finance, project management, analysis. Those roles that we are struggling a little bit with is attracting the candidates. I think it's come much more to the fore in terms of, sort of talent management, in being that employer of choice. Being attractive and selling ourselves as an employer becomes ever more important. And I think if we go back kind of 3, even 4 years ago, it was not the case some more. It was an employer's market. We were able to select the candidates at our own pace in our own way, and the supply was much higher than the demand, and that switched. And therefore, it's become more of a challenge to look at the overall attraction of the company in terms of talent management. I'm going to say it's fair to say that, despite the unemployment figures as they are, although the last 12 months we've seen those improve, not particularly seen that effect in our sector. In a management sector, people recognise that security has become a higher value aspect of a candidate's consideration. And the first 2 years are always the slightly vulnerable years. Those talent that we would want to attract into the business are kind of more inclined to stay put. And to try and entice that talent out again becomes into the sort of talent management strategies that we've got in place. It's much easier to recruit at a lower level. We can absolutely see that, and that is a direct reflection of the economy and the external factors that we now have. As the economy improves, hopefully that talent will feel a little bit more able to move. I feel a little bit more transient. At the moment, security seems to be quite an obstacle to overcome. Our preference is, of course, always to recruit directly, and we have enormous success in doing this through Impetus Futures. The areas that we're struggling in because they're ridiculously competitive, and IT, I think, is probably the most case in point for this. Agencies absolutely have a place for us with that, and will remain to do so. I think because they're so well networked, they're so speedy, so reactional, they have the finger on the pulse with all of their candidate databases that is so fluid that we couldn't possibly hope to maintain internally. That I think that role will continue to be ever more important, particularly in IT for us. One of the challenges we do have with agencies is that we get empty promises. And every agency will tell you that they can absolutely deliver this candidate. They have this candidate at their fingertips. From our perspective, there's a lot more value, and a longer-term relationship probably hinges on much greater honesty. And to challenge back and say, actually, I'm in touch with all of these candidates. You're not going to achieve this because your wish list is too high, too wrong. You need to tweak your specification, or I just can't help you. And to have the confidence that an agency, when they say they can deliver, really can deliver. I think that remains a very difficult matter. It's probably always been the case, but at the moment, the competition is so fierce that we get floods of promises. Trying to establish who can actually deliver for us on this is a challenge for us.